We deliberately chose the font hat with the effect of ghost, which was added on Lifetype because it looks like a typical horror. The font carries the connotations of death as it fades up similar to how a ghost does. It fits with the typical horror film and is reminiscent of the titles used in Insidious.
We made our title Trance by layering the text over itself 3 times, which created a blurry, staggery effect. This is appropriate as it represents the victim and also the audience as it is like they are in a trance. Trance is an effective name as it doesn't give too much away and it sounds as if the audience are being controlled. It is also a one-word title which are used in Sinister, Possession, Mama and Saw. The sound effect used on the title is an eerie sound that anchors the meaning and tells us that it is a horror.
Our opening sequence is a classic bad dream sequence. The use of layering, opacity and long crossfades suggests to the audience that the character is in a bad dream, which is very conventional for horrors. It is similar to those used in the making of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream 3 and Shrooms.
A key shot in our opening title sequence is the mirror shot, as it emphasises the narrative which conveys a split personality. This narrative is a similar one to The Uninvited. The first shot hints towards the rest of the story, which is her thinking she's 2 people. We did the mirror shot by layering and cropping shots, which is sophisticated special effects with the use of limited technology.
We deliberately cast Steph in the main role, which is the final girl, as she is tomboyish, brunette, virginal and bookish, which is conveyed by her glasses. Carol Clover says that these are typical characteristics of a final girl. Steph is also the classic age of the target audience, so that the audience can identify with her character. Steph wears the colour pink, which is the girly colour, which counteracts the idea of her being bookish and virginal, so that she still has appeal to her male audience.
One of our scenes centres around a bathroom and water, which is conventional in horror. We use the bathroom as it is easy to create shadows and clear up blood. Bathroom shots are seen in many horrors, such as Psycho from the 60s, The Entity from the 70s, Friday the 13th from the 80s, The Ring from the 90s, What Lies Beneath from the 2000s, and more recently Mirrors, Saw and Dark Water.
We included blood, which is unconventional in paranormal films, to challenge the conventions of paranormal horror, such as Woman in Black and Paranormal Activity, which do not use blood. We thought that the use of blood looked really good in this particular shot, as it contrasts against the white bath and the clear water.
At this point in the opening sequence, a sound is used to build up tension for the climax, which follows the classic opening sequence structure and use of music. It also makes the audience aware that the final scare is approaching. The use of thunder helps set the mood in the opening, which suggests that bad things happen in bad weather, which has been used since Shakespeare's time to set the scene. There is a complex combination of the soundtrack, sound effects and thunder and diegetic sound.
In post-production of our final shots, we used colour corrector to make the scene darker and distorted. We did this by putting the saturation down and mids up, which creates the effect of the audience being entranced and uncomfortable. Other films that use colour corrector to bleach the colour out are Woman in Black, Insidious and Sinister.
The final shot ends with her confronting her own self, which sets up the audience for the rest of the film. It will make the audience intrigued into what happens next. We used freeze frame to emphasise that the character is an important one to play, which is similar to the use of the freeze frame used in Friday the 13th. Even though this is an old example, it is an example of us paying homage on a classic horror.
We used high-angle shots in the bathroom to represent the vulnerability of Steph, as she is a victim of herself. We also used a high-angle shot when Steph discovers a body, which suggests that both people are equally victimised and vulnerable, as they are both victims of the same person.